I want to talk about no contact. I know I haven't talked about it in a while, and sometimes the newer subscribers don't go back and listen to past videos or podcasts. So here we are. People are always surprised when they see that no contact actually works and they hear from their ex, especially if they describe their ex as stubborn, as most people do. So, why does no contact work so well to get an ex back? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. But first, hi, my name is Lucia. I'm a dating and relationship expert, and I specialize in helping people get their ex back. And welcome back, my beautiful no contact army. If you're in no contact, hopefully you've downloaded my app Silencio to help you stay in no contact. The link is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you too would like to join our no contact army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and you're in. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. And the link to everything is underneath the video or podcast. So, in case you haven't heard of no contact, which I'm sure almost everyone has, that would be when someone breaks up with you and you want them back. You agree to the breakup and you go radio silent. You do not try to talk them into coming back. You do not reach out. You do not contact them. You disappear as if you're in witness protection. And people are afraid of no contact because they do not understand human nature. And I did give 7 reasons as to why no contact works on everyone in my video of that title, and I'll post the link in the upper right-hand corner of YouTube for those of you who haven't seen it. But in this video, I want to talk about the psychology of rejection, because when you don't try to get your ex back and don't respond to breadcrumbs, the tables have turned and you are now rejecting them. And people think that if they reject someone, the person being rejected will just agree to it and go away, or in the case of your ex, stay away. And that's why so many people have trouble doing no contact. They think that if they ignore the ex, if they don't try to get them back, the ex will stay away and go away. But look at it this way. Your ex pushed you away, rejected you, right? Did you go away? No. Not only did you not go away, but here you are listening to this video about how to get them back. And some of you will even hire me to get your ex back. So let's put to rest the myth that if you reject someone, they will just accept it and move on. That is not how the human mind works. When you reject someone, the mask is going to fall and the truth is going to be revealed. When someone is rejected, their ego, their confidence, and their self-esteem are going to take a blow. You felt that when your ex dumped you, right? So why would it not feel the same for them when they realize that you're not responding and they are now the one getting rejected? Now they will feel that they need to get you back in order to boost up their ego again and to get their confidence and self-esteem back. Most people have low self-esteem, but everyone does a great job of hiding it. Does this happen 100% of the time? Yes, but to varying degrees depending on their interest level, on the connection you had, and on their attachment style. There are several variables involved. When you reject someone, it forces them to make a decision. You are now limiting their options, meaning they either try to get you back now or in the very near future, or risk that the window of opportunity will pass and they will miss their chance if they change their mind down the road. When you reject someone, you give the appearance of having something of value. That's why the person now wants you back. The thought process is, if you weren't valuable, you wouldn't be ignoring them, right? You must have a higher value than them, or you'd be thrilled to hear from them and to get back together with them if they wanted to, even though they rejected you to begin with. People think that if they reject someone, the other person will be confident and leave. And most of the time, it's actually the other way around. They turn into a child, and now they want what they can't have. It's like a child who rejects a toy, and then someone else comes along and picks up that toy and starts playing with it, and often now they want that toy. They no longer have that toy, and someone else thinks that the toy is interesting, so maybe they didn't see its value. Now, obviously, you're not a toy, but you know what I mean. Look at it this way. Think about the people who you've dated in the past who you weren't that interested in. They could feel it. You were silently rejecting them, even if you were nice to them, and thus they continued to put in effort. The people you weren't that interested in were always interested in you, right? Everyone says that. So it's statistically impossible that all the people you weren't interested in were interested in you. So what's really going on? It's because you were showing them that you didn't need them, you weren't that interested, and you could live without them. You were rejecting them. So it's the same concept with no contact, except with your ex, you are interested, but you have to act as if you aren't. People hate rejection and have a very primitive reaction to it, meaning they do not respond logically to someone rejecting them. They respond emotionally, and this is exactly where we want your ex. We want them to be emotional, not logical. And by the way, if you're finding this helpful, please be sure to give it a like on YouTube so that we help our friend, the algorithm, recommend it to everybody else that wants to know about no contact. Okay, so all of a sudden your ex is going to start making mistakes. And this is because fear has now taken over. And while we're normally able to control ourselves, when we're acting from fear, all those defenses go down and we make stupid mistakes. We've all been there, right? And your ex is no different. They're going to become impatient and irrational. And this is where we see the calling from blocked numbers, blocking and unblocking, constantly changing profile photos, etc., etc. Your ex will get more emotional and their true feelings will come out, usually in the form of breadcrumbs. That's why you don't want to respond to breadcrumbs. They're obviously interested enough to contact you, but not quite yet ready to express themselves. So as I said, rejection will force them to make a decision. Do they continue to reach out or do they walk away? And the longer you stay in no contact, the more leverage you have, meaning that if you do take them back, you can now set the price of what it will take to get you back. And I talked about this in my video, the 6 questions to ask your ex if they want you back. And I'll put the link in the upper right-hand corner on YouTube. So if you do no contact, you'll have leverage if they do come back, and it'll be on your terms. Otherwise, if you don't do it, you will get the pet cemetery version of them, which I talked about in one of my videos, and I do not remember the name. I should just call that video Pet Cemetery so I'd remember. So if someone remembers the name, please put it in the comments and then I'll link it on YouTube. Now, you may be listening to this and thinking, this is manipulation. But I call it motivation. Manipulation and motivation are opposite sides of the same coin. Something has to motivate your ex to start to wonder if they made a mistake in breaking up with you, right? Otherwise, why would they start to change their mind? So sometimes it's time when they start missing you. Sometimes it's going on dates and realizing you'll be hard to replace. And in doing no contact, if they do start to doubt their decision, they'll act on it sooner rather than later, since they have no idea if you would ever take them back because you haven't been trying to get them back, right? They have no idea what's going on. You're in no contact. Now, I know others of you may be saying, but I don't want to play games when it comes to love. Well, guess what? I agree with you. You should not play games when it comes to love. But here's the thing. Right now, sorry to say, there is no love. At least not from their side. Because if they loved you, they would not have given up. They would not have broken up with you. They would have found a way to fix whatever wasn't working. So you can get that thought out of your mind in terms of playing games with love. There's no love here on their side. You know, this love game, it is a game, is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. But acting from your feelings is not going to get your ex back. And also, just because you refuse to play, it doesn't mean you automatically win. If anything, you're going to pretty much ensure that you don't get your ex back. And whoever breaks no contact is saying, I need you more than you need me. I can't go no contact longer than you. It's killing me inside to not have you in my life. That's why I'm reaching out. So the person who does not reach out is now the one with the power. And hopefully that person is you. You show them that you're perfectly fine walking away after they dumped you, even if that's not how you feel inside. And by the way, there are 2 exceptions, which I've talked about in previous videos. If you cheated or took your ex for granted, then you should only do no contact for about 30 days, and then you need to start trying to get your ex back. So you might be saying, but it's not working. I haven't heard from my ex. Well, how do you know it's not working? You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Do you have a crystal ball? Things might be happening and you don't even know. Just because it's not on your schedule, it doesn't mean that nothing's happening. You're accepting appearance as reality. And finally, for those of you who are worried that your ex will move on if you're in no contact, if you had a true connection, you're not going to be easy to replace. Finding someone that you have a true connection with doesn't happen that often. So just because they're dating doesn't mean that they are immediately going to replace you. They're constantly going to be thinking about the connection they have with you and will be comparing the new person. And most of the time, the new person's going to come up short. So don't worry about that. Now, the only exception, there's always an exception, is to what I've just said, would be someone with an extreme dismissive avoidant attachment style. And I know this because, well, that would be me. So if someone is extreme in their avoidance, no matter what their feelings are for you, it's going to be very hard to get them back if you broke up with them or if you gave them a good reason to break up with you. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's going to be very difficult and may take a very long time. Okay? So now I want to hear from you. Have you been able to stay in no contact, or did you end up breaking no contact at some point? And in the meantime, if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net and we will send you the rates. They are not on the page, and the direct link to that is below every single video and podcast. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast, please rate and review. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.